Good evening, world, and I'm Chad Billingswurth. Thank you for watching Super News Station. Our top story tonight out of California is legendary interviewer and journalist Larry King has been hospitalized with the dreaded COVID virus. Family officials say that he is being treated at Cedars-Sinai Hospital right now. We don't have any other information at the moment, but our thoughts and prayers go out to Larry King and his entire family. Here with a few words on this is Michael Stevenson. Michael?
Thanks, Chad. I'm outside the hospital that Larry King is staying, and we hope he's good. He's 87 years old, and we have not got to speak to his family members, but there's a bunch of people crowded, fans of him, everybody. Back to you, Chad.
Hockey icon Wayne Gretzky, many considered to be the greatest hockey player of all time, is a pretty good golfer, it would seem. He had a New Year's Day hole-in-one at the Sherwood Country Club in Thousand Oaks, California. There weren't many spectators on hand because of restrictions, but there is video of Wayne hitting that hole-in-one shot. What an amazing feat for an amazing guy. He's talented in more sports than one. Isn't that right, Michael?
I'm live where he shot the hole-in-one, and it's really crazy because I can't believe he's a professional hockey player and a golfer, and he's Canadian. Just wow. Back to you, Chad.
A team of scientists in Japan are working on building wooden satellites to go into space. These satellites are being designed as a countermeasure to prevent space junk or debris in our upper atmosphere. They are currently testing several different types of wood to see if it can withstand extreme temperature and weather changes. One good thing about being in space is there's no water that could cause decay and rot in the wood. So they're testing out different types of wood to see what's the most suitable. The belief is the wooden satellites will completely burn away upon re-entry to the Earth and not leave any particles in our atmosphere. For more on this, here's Michael Stevenson.
Wow! I came here as fast as I can to fly here, Chad. Anyways, I think it's crazy that they're doing this. You know why? Because Japan is always crazy. They built a robot that looked like a transformer. That is just crazy. Back to you, Chad.
In beauty news, Israeli star Yael Shelbia has been named the most beautiful face in the world for 2020. She's a 19-year-old model from Israel, and she was handed the title by writer and content creator T.C. Candler, who has been running the 100 Most Beautiful Faces list since 1990. Shelbia was born in Nigeria, has previously featured on a list several times, having first made her debut in 2017 in 14th place. But she has recently moved up to first. That face must just keep getting better. What do you think about this, Michael?
Well, I looked at her picture, and she has really big eyebrows. But she's kind of pretty, but not as pretty that like Taylor Swift, Jenny McCarthy, and Addison Rae, the famous TikToker. Back to you, Chad.
There's been a landslide in Ask, Norway, which is just outside of Oslo. 3 bodies have been recovered and several people are still missing. The landslide is the worst in Norway's modern history. Rescue teams in the village of Ask have yet to find any signs of life after the disaster tore down buildings in the area on Wednesday. 2 bodies were recovered from the rubble on Saturday after the first victim was found on Friday. Only a Dalmatian dog has been rescued alive so far. Search teams have used helicopters and heat-detecting drones to help them navigate the wintry conditions to find more people. Norwegian police have said that they will not scale back the search, despite one rescue team from Sweden having already returned home. Local police chief Ida Melbo Oitstes told reporters that it could still be possible to find survivors in air pockets trapped inside the destroyed buildings. Medically, you can survive for several days if you have air, she said. We all hope these people in Norway can be recovered, and our thoughts and prayers go out to all the families affected by this terrible landslide. Michael is live in Norway with more on this developing story.
Well, I'm live here in Norway, and I think it's sad that people have gone missing and died. But police are looking for them, and they rescued a dog, which I think is very happy and nice. And I hope the people that have gone missing get found by police. Back to you, Chad.
The people of the Netherlands have created the world's largest wind turbine. The gigantic wind turbine sits at 853 feet, which is 260 meters in height. It's more than twice as tall as the tallest buildings in Grand Rapids, Michigan. The blades are 351 feet long each, longer than a football field. It has a maximum output of 12 megawatts with the ability to power 16,000 households. Future turbines are projected to be even taller than this one. General Electric says the wind turbine has as much thrust as 4 Boeing 747 engines firing at the same time. The plan is to eventually install supersized turbines over the water of nearby oceans using wind currents from the ocean to create more power. Specialized ships would be needed for offshore placement. That is insane. The world's largest wind turbine. What do you think of this, Michael?
Well, I'm here in Neverland, and I think it's crazy that it's bigger than a football field. And it can fit that many houses? How? Wow. Back to you, Chad.
The world's oldest person who's currently living on Earth turned 118 the other day. Her name is Kane Tanaka, a Japanese woman recognized by the Guinness World Records as the oldest living person on the planet. She was born January 2nd, 1903, celebrated her 118th birthday anniversary at a care facility in Fukuoka, southeastern Japan, where she lives. She celebrated her birthday clapping her hands and says she plans to stay healthy until the age of 120. We're all hoping you make it.
You're recording again.
That is a really old age there, isn't it, Michael? What do you have to say about this?
Well, I'm back here in Japan, and I think it's very weird that she wants to live until 120. Well, I think that's great, and she exercises 3 times a day. Wow, and she still exercises. And fun fact, she's been alive since World War I and II came. So, hope she makes it to 120. Back to you, Chad.
The Canadian military is looking to upgrade their handguns for all their servicemen and women. Currently, they're using World War II era guns, the Browning high-powered pistol from back in those days, but they want to get up to a more modern and efficient gun. So they're currently in negotiations with different gun manufacturers around the world to find a nice, suitable, modern gun to replace their World War II era pistols that the Canadian military currently uses. What do you think about that, Michael?
Well, they're using the same guns that my great-grandfather used in World War II. What are they? Muskets? Someone? Why does no one ever think I'm funny? Anyways, back to you, Chad.
A Florida man claims to have used a fire extinguisher to dry himself off, which is what he told police. But he was arrested on a 3rd-degree felony charge for discharging a public fire extinguisher. In Tallahassee, he wasn't on fire at all when he was arrested, but he may have thought he was. The police found a glass methamphetamine pipe in his jacket. He was on the top floor of a parking garage with the fire extinguisher covered in the powder that's emitted by that design of extinguisher. He told police he had been drinking and then fell asleep. Then he fell in some water when he woke up. He said he was using the extinguisher to try to dry himself off. He faces up to 5 years in prison for doing this. With more on this story.
Well, I'm live here in Tallahassee, And I think it's crazy that he just thought he went in water. How did he get water on himself? Did he pee his pants? Well, why would he just use a fire extinguisher? And what about someone needs that for a real accident? So, I think it's just crazy. And no wonder he's been arrested. And I'm glad he has. Back to you, Chad.
In other Florida man news, another Florida man from Oskaloosa County set his 2002 Chevy Silverado ablaze with a can of gasoline. Deputies arrived and he told them he just wanted to quote-unquote give them something to do. And he wanted to give himself an early Christmas present. So he liked watching his truck catch on fire. Police found a glass methamphetamine pipe on this man also, plus a dollar bill with drug paraphernalia attached. He was placed in handcuffs, and when questioned, he said he wanted something for the sheriff's office to do, so he set his truck on fire. Records show Murphy claimed he poured gasoline inside the Chevy's cab and underneath the truck, then created a trail away from the vehicle and lit it with a cigarette lighter. Deputies said no one was injured by the fire, but it did cause some minor damage to a nearby building and another car. The Dorcas Fire Department extinguished the flames. Murphy is facing charges of second-degree arson, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. More on this. We're still in Florida with Michael.
Well, I'm still here in Florida, and I think it's crazy that he set his truck on fire. Well, he needs a car, at least something to drive him somewhere. Like, what is he, crazy? And he got arrested, and I think that's good. And I think it was pretty cool that probably a truck would go on fire. I would like that, but still, I want to do that. I don't want to get arrested, because I still need to do this news. And every week, we're going to do new news stories. Back to you, Chad.
Our final story of the day is Alaska Airlines becomes the first airline to ban emotional support animals on all flights. Starting on January 11th, only service dogs that are properly trained will be allowed on flights. This comes after several people brought on pigs, rabbits, peacocks, and a tarantula, which disturbed other passengers, and there have been many complaints over the last few years. In 2016, there were 481,000 emotional support animals brought onto Alaskan Airlines flights. 1 year later, that number jumped up to 951,000. It's clearly getting out of hand on those flights. A little few too animals running around. So what do you think of this, Michael? Should it be dogs only?
Well, I think any animal could be on there, unless if it's deadly, because like it could kill someone if they're not careful. And what I think the animals that can't be on a plane are snakes. Definitely not snakes. Elephants, tarantulas, and more. I cannot list any animal. Like, I could list animals, but there's a lot more. And I just think it's crazy. Well, not that crazy, but still. And I think there should be dogs on there. Dogs are no problem, unless if they're deadly. Back to you, Chad!
Here at Deskin Supermarkets, we believe that low prices are important. But we also believe that you, the customer, deserve to be treated in a fast and friendly manner.
And while shopping our stores, treat yourself to these specials. Nature's Own white wheat bread, 20-ounce loaf, 79 cents. Hormel Black Label Bacon, 12-ounce pack, $1.08. Thornapple Valley Meat Franks, 12-ounce pack, 68 cents. And O'Shea Sliced Meat Bologna or Spiced Luncheon Meat, 3 pounds for $3.48.
Here at Deskin Supermarkets, we'll treat you to friendly smiles and speedy service.
Welcome back to the studio, Michael. I appreciate all your on-field reporting today. Couple last notes. Famous hockey player Zdeno Chara, longtime Boston Bruin, has officially announced his signing with the Washington Capitals. Comes as a big blow for a big man in the big city of Beantown. The fans there are not happy as Zdeno Chara moves on to our nation's capital to help protect Alexander Ovechkin. Also in sports news, the West Virginia Mountaineers defeated Army 24-21 in the Liberty Bell Bowl.
Wow.
Today in weather, the biggest news story is a major winter storm. Avalanche warning is coming for British Columbia. There's going to be avalanches everywhere, upside, one side, downside, every mountain you can think of. Ski resorts are closed. It is snow apocalypse 2021 out there in British Columbia.
We're already in 2021 and 2021 just started and it's already got crazy, man. Like, can we just have like a few days before or a few months before it gets crazy? Because 2021 just started yesterday and now it's already getting crazy.
There's already avalanches, landslides.
What's going on here? Is COVID gonna come back?
You can't even take your emotional support animal on an airplane if you're upset about 2021.
What's going on? Like, 2021 just started and it's already getting crazy. Like, can you agree with me?
I agree with you
Like,
wholeheartedly.
It took 2020.
And without
It just
any
took
doubts.
2020 a few weeks to get crazy. Like, 2021 just started yesterday. Now it's getting crazy.
Who knows what the future holds? But you'll find out next week on our super news station as we keep bringing you weekly news from all over the world and maybe some from other planets. You never know. Finally today, the hottest place on Earth was Kenna, Australia at 99 degrees Fahrenheit.
Whoa.
And the coldest place on Earth was in Yakutsk, Russia at minus 46 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold, and it's also pretty hot in Australia.
And if I lived in Australia right now, I would even take my whole shirt off because I would be super hot. And also, and you know what? If I was in the coldest place, I would just warm up. I had to wear more than this.
I believe so. I think I would need a much bigger tie if I was in that cold of a climate.
Yeah, me too,
Use
man.
as a scarf, right, Michael?
I know.
Good night,
That is all.
everyone.
That is all. And have a good day. Goodbye. And